Good morning, everybody. This is going to be an evolutionary story of my 120-gallon discus tank that I just started. What I'm going to do today is walk you through it, or the system at least. No fish. I just filled the tank. Actually, instead of showing off a fat cat here, why don't I show you the tank? We filled it up last night, so it's pretty cloudy. That's why there's some spotlighting going on the LEDs, but that'll go away in time once the system clears itself out. Right now the only thing in here is the hardscape. This will be a planted tank. I know, when you do a discus tank you limit yourself to what type of plants you have, but I enjoy the plant aspect of a tank as much as the fish. After working with fish for so long, it doesn't become boring, but it doesn't challenge as much. So keeping the tank with plants and fish together, it raises your awareness, what you have to do, what you need to do to keep everything running smoothly. Always challenge yourself with your tanks. Never stay in a comfort zone. You don't learn if you don't go outside of your comfort zone at times. But anyway, that's enough of my preaching on that. But it will be a planted tank. So right now, all that it is Cereus stone. There's 32 pounds of it in here. Very nice rock, though. If anybody has never had it, it's a very pretty, very nice aquascaping stone. This right here is going to be a moss tree. And there'll be several different plants in here. When you do a discus tank and a planted tank, you automatically limit yourself to what type of plants you can use, specifically because of the temperature range that discus enjoy, which is 80 to 84 degrees. I always stay in the middle of every recommendation, so I keep my tank at 82. So finding plants that can work with 82 degrees and still thrive and grow is a challenge. But again, that's part of the enjoyment of keeping plants in a tank like this, is because you need to stay diligent and keep on it so that it'll all work together and look good. It will have CO2. There's the little diffuser there. Excuse me. But let me show you, I guess, the filter system. I'll explain it a little bit beforehand. Right now the only thing running is an FX6 by Fluval, which is enough actually to successfully filter the tank. But discus do enjoy overfiltration, so I will be adding a sump, which is actually in the tank. I just need, or under the tank of course, but I just need my overflow box to come in the mail. So this is the FX6, and as you can hear, it's pretty quiet. I mean, I've had an FX5 for years on other tanks, and they're great filters. I love them. This will cycle the tank probably 8 times an hour. The sump, once it's up and running, will be cycling about the same, 8 times an hour. So the tank itself will cycle 16 times fully every hour. So that's, for discus, that's great. But anyway, get my fat finger in here. This is the CO2 system. It will be running once the plants get in there, which will be about a month or so before anything gets put in there. This is a pile of junk. That's always important to have when you have fish tanks. You always need excess garbage laying around, because it really helps the aesthetics and makes it look like you know what you're doing when you actually don't. I attached a little light strip back there, or a light strip, for crying out loud, a power strip, so all my cords are out of the way. I did install a little light strip though across here. See, I knew what I was going somewhere with that. That way I can work under here in the middle of the night, which is You know what time it is now, 5 in the morning. Nobody's up but me and an empty fish tank. Oh, and that fat cat that you saw. Actually, there he is. But anyway, how the sump is going to work. This tube right here is going to be attached to an overflow box, a CPR 100 overflow box with an Aquatom's or a Tom's Aqua Lifter pump, and it'll have a pre-filter on the aqua pump. Directly from the underneath of the overflow box, there'll be a union with a little bit of extension from a 1-inch PVC. That's a ball valve, so I can control how fast the water comes into the sump in case my pump over here doesn't want to handle how much it flows. But it'll fill up on this side, of course. You know how a sump works. If not, then this is how it works. Water goes into this, which is just a filter sock. It's a floss sock that catches a lot of debris and stuff. The water seeps through and fills up on this side. I'm going to have a couple of bags of ChemiPure Elite laying in the bottom with some activated carbon. Helps filter things out a little bit more. The water will flow over into this side. It'll level up to about here, but right here on this side there's two 200-watt titanium heaters. Then after it goes through the warming stage in here, I may have a little bit of a refuge. I'm not sure, not really needing it, but it's never a bad thing to have it. And then it flows over here through a carbon impregnated pad over to this return pump. The return pump is going to pump it directly into the back where a 36-watt UV sterilizer is hooked up. That just makes sure there's no green water, kills parasites. Not all of them, but it does a lot. It's highly recommended by me anyway, and quite a few other people, of course, to have on a discus tank. And then a 3/4 inch return back up to the tank, and the return will be right next to the return on the FX6 up there. So that's how the system is going to work. So there's going to be two separate systems. So when I clean this system, this one can stay running, and if I, vice versa. I like my camera movements. That's for people with Parkinson's. Yeah, overall, it's a system that's going to hopefully work out. I've never really attempted a dual filtration system such as this, but with the discus tanks I've had before, I always underestimate just how much filtration you want to have in the tank. So this time I figured, you know what, instead of going halfway with it, let's go the full distance, and no matter how much these guys try to mess it up, we'll try and keep it clean. But like I say, once the water starts to clear up, it's been only in here a day, so this spotlighting that you see should go away. I've only got it on very low light right now. LEDs, 3 watts per. There's 100. What am I thinking? Yeah, there's 104 3-watt lights. You never run it that high. I may run it that full power for an hour a day, depending on the plants I put in here. I just wanted to make sure I had enough light, depending on my plant load. But again, I'm not sure of what I'm going to be running. But for the discus, this is going to be their new home. I plan on getting, probably 6 or 7 of them. And they're going to be from Discus Hans. I've gotten fish from him. He's a great man, great company. I highly recommend you check them out. You pay a higher price, but you get a higher quality fish. And that's really what you want to start with, is a good quality fish. So stay tuned. And if you have any questions on discus keeping or fish keeping or plants, anything that you got, just give me a shout. Do a little comment down at the bottom. Anything you need to know, just give me a call or a text, and well, don't do that, because then I'd have to give you my phone number, and I don't want to do that. Let's just go with you leaving a comment, all right? Yeah, let's do that. We'll keep this platonic. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this series. It's going to take quite a while for everything to get going, but whenever I have an update, I'll share with you what I've done, and we'll watch this grow together and learn together. So thanks for watching, and keep fishing.